for a lot of people, the big pieces of your design, namely type, strategy, and authority, will often stay the same. And I like to say that if you know your type, strategy, and authority and are practicing that, you'll naturally live out the rest of your design. So there is a lot you can do there. That said, there are parts that do change minute to minute. So deeper information, especially variables, so like the arrows and color and tone, the information under the arrows that will give guidance on the best way to eat for your design, the best environment where your body likes to be located, things like that can change more quickly. It's helpful to just keep all of these nuances in mind or work with someone if you want guidance. If you specifically want that deeper information, it can be worth the effort of digging around a little bit. Another caveat I want to give is to always just trust yourself with what resonates. So, there's a lot of reasons why you might see something in your design. And even if you have a birth time, like maybe you got a time in an age where there were analog clocks and the clock was off by a few minutes, and maybe that changes something about your design. Or you do ask around and everyone in your family swears you were born at 5:40 and actually it was 450, right? And maybe your birth certificate is lost or whatever. If you see something in your design and it doesn't resonate, I always encourage you to not force it. There's so many reasons why that might be. You just might not be at a place in your life where that information resonates, right? And ultimately, what human design is about is trusting yourself, trusting your own authority, and never shooting yourself into believing something that doesn't feel true for you, right? I really encourage an attitude of openness and curiosity with all of this. The first thing you can do if you're not sure about your birth time is to try reaching out to different resources that are available to you. So a lot of times people don't realize they can reach out to the hospital they were born at. And I've had clients who have had a lot of success with hospitals being surprisingly quick to get that information to them. If depending on where you're born, sometimes your birth certificate will have a time recorded. Not all birth certificates do, though, so that will just depend on you. And you can also try to reach out to family members if that is available to you. So maybe you don't know right now. Maybe you asked mom and she was like, I don't know exactly. But see if you can just push a little bit more. That would be step one, the lowest hanging fruit, just reaching out creatively, thinking about what organizations might or people might be able to offer that to you. The second thing you can do, let's say you try step one and you're like, I really don't have anything more detailed. You can play with the range that you have. So this is something you can do yourself, or you can work with a practitioner. And what I do usually is, let's say someone comes to me with, this is the day I know I was born. I will look at their design for that whole 24-hour day and just check every few hours what changes. And, different planets are moving through different things. So sometimes it can take a trained eye, but if you want to do it yourself, you are absolutely welcome to. See what changes and then see what resonates, right? I find So I'll just use the example of determination, how to best eat for your design. Like I've had some people who are really curious about this. They don't know their exact birth time, and I'll present them with a couple of the options based on the range. And a good amount of the time it's super clear, like, oh, that's definitely how I am and I'm not those others, right? So this is where the playing with the range, the trusting yourself, and the triangulation of here are some possibilities and what's true for you, that can help you land on something more specific. The last thing you can do, and this is the most effort intensive, I would say, is a process called rectification. So you can work with an astrologer, or there's different people who have their own methods of rectification, where you identify key points in your life and then you look at astrologically what was going on. And there's this triangulation and back calculating into what time you were most likely born. I can imagine some people watching this might be interested in some recommendations. Unfortunately, the person that I used to recommend out to does not take new clients anymore. So I will just offer that if that's a path that is interesting to you, and of course there's an investment involved as well, that if you put out the intention, I fully believe you will get connected with the right person. Unfortunately, I don't have a recommendation for a specific practitioner for you at this time, but that's how I found all of my own teachers and practitioners, is they tend to just drop in right when I need them. So now that you know that this is a possibility, I know that if this is meant for you as a path, you will find it. So those are the 3 ways you can work with not knowing your birth time. Hopefully, you understand a little bit more about why birth time is so important and what you can do to work around it to at least get some of these key pieces of your design. Because for most people, you will still be able to find at least some useful parts, if not quite a lot of useful pieces about your design without necessarily having the exact birth time if that's not an option for you. So thanks so much for watching. And I really am wishing you all the best in your curiosity about your design. If you found this video helpful, again, feel free to hit the like button so we can get the word out. And if you want to stay up to date on my reflections and tips for learning more about your human design, feel free to subscribe to my email newsletter, which is linked below. And I appreciate you for being here. I'll see you in the next one.